Well, happy Saturday evening to you. Chris Harry, the Crypto Cowboy. Tonight is Saturday, October 11th, 8:35 p.m., bringing you another nightly update. I hope you guys had a good day, got to settle down after this giant pullback we've had. It's been bloody, 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 and I hate to tell you guys, but I don't think it's quite over yet. But we'll break that down in the charts tonight and get a really good understanding of where we are. But if you're enjoying these videos, like this video, tap the subscribe button, hit that bell notification. You'll get notifications for these videos as soon as I drop them. And I need to remind you, these videos are not for financial advice. They are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Use caution when trading crypto. You could lose all of your money. Now, talking about what happened, it's $10 billion worth of liquidations. I'm pretty sure it's the worst in history. It was the worst liquidation event in about 30 minutes that crypto has ever seen. Really ugly. I hate that some of you guys really got tore up by it, but we're going to work on that. We're going to start talking about risk management. We're going to figure out where this bottom is, and I'm going to help you guys try to make some of that back. All right, with all that out of the way, let's start off with the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. This measures market sentiment. You can see it's at 31. We're in fear, guys. Big shocker there. We were at 59 the other day, 2 days ago, almost into greed. And then the bottom fell out, and it's been ugly, 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 ugly. But anyway, sentiment's 31. Everybody's scared. Usually that's the best time to buy, especially with spot backs. I mean, look back. When we hit it in February and April, those were some of the best times to buy. Once it touched there, it took off. It did it back late July into August of 2024. Great time to buy. Shot straight up. So if there's any silver lining, there may be an opportunity for this thing to go up pretty soon. It may drag out. It's really hard to say, but we're going to break it down. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to take this move step by step until we understand what's going on. Going to move over to a liquidation heat map for Bitcoin. This is what the market makers watch. They chase liquidity, and this tells us where the pockets of liquidity are. You can see there's not much below us, but there has been some longs pile in. There's about $317 million worth of longs to the bottom side, but we've got this big wick, and we'll talk about this in the charts. I really think they're going to want to fill this out before they let any upside happen. But to the upside, up to 125,000, $2.65 billion in liquidations, and even up higher, $3 billion. It's huge imbalance, guys. Tells me that something's brewing. We may pump up, and we'll figure out when that might be and where we're going to pump from. All right, moving over to the Bitcoin chart. Here you go. We'll go back to the weekly. I'm not going to worry about upside targets right now. We need to worry about where we're going to finish off. And I want to show you a couple of things on this chart. We took a big dump after Trump was inaugurated and tariffs were introduced for the very first time. That was our big dump right at the first of 2025, right in January, and we dropped all the way to about March or April, down to about $73,000. Once we've been there, we've gone straight up. We haven't really stopped. You can tell it's just been a straight up move all the way to a new all-time high, $128,000. And I tell you guys, when we do that kind of stuff, things have got to cool off. They just can't run in a straight line. This is honestly expected. Kind of saw it coming. Kind of tried to give out some warnings, but I'll be more stern about those in the future. But you can see I've got two trend lines. These trend lines work on 3 touch points at tops of candles, and it makes a trend. And the charts really like to respect them. So you can see we kind of broke out of it, but we came back in January, right before that big dump. And usually when those things do it, you get a pretty hard dump. That's kind of a pretty good indicator that it's coming. But we came back up, we tapped that trend line, couldn't quite do it at all-time high, but that's okay. But I've got another trend line, and this is a multi-year trend that we followed and respected for a really long time. We've also got the 50 moving average for the weekly. What this does is it takes 50 of the weekly candles and creates an average. This turns into a fluid support and resistance line. And you can see it's coming right into our golden zone. That should be somewhere around $89,000 by the time we get there. I really feel like that it may use this as a catalyst to launch off of. But the reason I brought these trends to your attention is you can see if we stay in these trends and we bounce, and bounce, these things like to fill out about 70% of any kind of pennant. So this bottom line may tighten up just a little bit, but you can tell we're not done. 150,000 could hit 200,000. I don't think it's out of the cards. But when we get to a point that we find a solid bottom, then we'll start talking about where we might go from there. Moving down to the daily, it's going to break that weekly chart out just a little more for us to understand, get a better idea of where our bottom might be. You can see we've been in an uptrend since January, really pushed up hard, broke all-time highs twice, and then we had a big tumble down because, like we've talked about before, it's really hard to go much higher once you break those all-time highs. People take profits, people close their trades, and once they do that, the market just comes down. But you can see on this 50 moving average, it works as great support and resistance. We found support back in January off of it, and that's what we ran up on. And we'd stayed above it ever since, but we came down and lost it. Then we and then we reclaimed it, retested, and then we launched again. And it seems like every time that's kind of the consensus it wants to do. So you can kind of keep in mind, we may drop here, we may touch 108,000, and we may go up from there. I really think we're probably going to want to fill this wick out. We've lost the 50 moving average. And I want to tell you guys, when we lose this 50 moving average, this switches our mindset from bullish to bearish. If we're below that 50 moving average on the daily, we're bearish, guys. And until we can reclaim it, the trend's down. So it's real. We don't want to open longs here. If we set a floor around here, then we can consider some longs. But if we go on down, we'll consider some longs here. What I do want to point out is the 200 moving average, the same thing as a 50, but it measures 200 candles and becomes another fluid support and resistance line rather than a horizontal. But you know, we found support around 101,000. That's about where the bottom of that wick is. The 200 moving average should be around 98,000 by the time we get there. There's a good possibility that we bounce off of that. If we lose the 200, we're probably going to head on down to around 90,000. That's where I'm at for now, until I'm proven otherwise, and until we get just some solid, steady, horizontal consolidation. These are our targets. And until we get some kind of idea that we're changing, we shouldn't take longs. But when we get that horizontal support, we'll take a look at it. We'll pull Fibonacci's the other way, and we'll see what kind of upside targets are in store for us. It may be something that we long from down here, ride it up to the 50, take our profits there, and see what happens. If we reject, then we have enough opportunity for a short. If we break through, retest, if you're not in the long already, that's going to be an excellent time to take a long. You can see when we break through it, we have a substantial move up, and that's what we're looking for. We don't need to long until then, and I'll keep you guys posted on what exactly I'm doing. All right. That's all for Bitcoin tonight. Kind of the same, but I wanted to show those things, give you an understanding of exactly what I look for when I'm trading. I'm going to move over to an Ethereum liquidation heat map. I pulled these on the weekly because the daily heat maps just didn't have a lot of data on them. So here we are, Ethereum on the weekly. Right now, we've got about $65 million worth of longs to the upside. You can tell they're kind of piling in. There's some shorts that piled in once we started this downtrend. And if we go to the upside, up to $4,800, there's $3.1 billion worth of liquidations. So you can see there's a huge imbalance. Now then, do we come claim 3,900 and take out some more of this liquidity? Time will tell. That's the big question, but we have that wick. And like I've said, we like to fill those out. Market makers like to fill those out before they send this thing to the upside. So I do think there's more downside coming, but we'll get into the chart here. We'll understand what's coming and we'll make a game plan from there. Now, all these charts can be found in the crypto school. You'll find links to that in my description. Great place to be. Great coaching. You can find me there. One-on-one conversations. I don't mind. If you have questions, check it out. We'll figure out what's going on together and maybe I can help you guys out. All right. This is Bitcoin or Ethereum on the daily. Let's start off with the weekly chart to really understand what's happening. Going back, talked about the pump. Alts follow Bitcoin. Usually their moves to the downside are more severe. So you can tell when we lost that top, After the tariffs, we dropped all the way down to $1,300. Bloody, bloody, bloody. But we have moved up. We made it all the way to $4,900, which is pretty impressive considering how low we were. And I've got the target marked on this 50 moving average on the weekly, right around $2,900. Do we go down and retest the 200? Time will tell. We're not sure. It tried to do it last time, so I don't want to rule it out just yet. But for now, our target is somewhere between $3,400 and $2,600. But let's go to the daily. It's going to refine that target a little more. I'm going to explain what this pivot is and what it's telling us in the shorter time frames. So you can tell we had our huge run up. If you guys long that from the bottom, congratulations. We made a ton of money. But you can see this is a descending channel or a bull flag or whatever you want to call it, but they are bullish. When anytime you have consolidation that runs in a downward trend, it's bullish. What I will tell you, I had a couple of guys ask me about taking longs here when we broke out of this channel. And the reason I didn't, and you can see I even had an alert here set in case we did. Typically, you want to break the previous high to validate this ascending channel breakout. We didn't do it. It came back into the channel. And historically, when that happens, there's an 80% chance that we go to the bottom of that channel. From there, it's typical that we launch, break out of them, and start our next run. So you can see we hit our first target on the daily, but I don't think it's done. That wick's lower. Our daily golden zone is around $2,900 to the middle. And you can tell that really lines up with the bottom of this channel. So I do have hope. I don't think this bull runs over, but we lost the daily 50 moving average. So we're also bearish on Ethereum, but we have a 200 moving average below us. This thing isn't over yet, guys, and it lines right up with the bottom of that channel. That makes me very optimistic for a pump there. So don't lose hope. I don't think we're done. I think we're just setting up for an amazing bull run after this is over. Now, I do think some alts are probably going to die and never recover, but I think some of these alts that have performed well are going to take a hold and they're going to run. So that kind of gives you a really good update on where we are today, what to look for tomorrow, maybe into the beginning of the week. I'll post another video tomorrow. I did some updates today and yesterday, kind of in the middle of the day, following the charts. I linked the charts back to those little shorts that I do. And let me know what you think of those. I really like doing them. I think they're educational. I think they're very informative to what's going on in the real time. And if you guys enjoy those, I'll continue to do more. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, come on over to the Crypto School. Check out the links in my description. The links to my X is there where I post a lot of educational and updates as well. I really appreciate you guys watching these. I'm here for you. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. If you want something charted, let me know. I will have an altcoin video posting tomorrow morning for you guys. I'll cover Sol and XRP. We'll see what's going on with them and where their possible bottoms are. So I'm going to quit talking tonight. I've said enough already. My wife wants to watch a movie and I want to spend some time with her. So this is Chris Hare, the Crypto Cowboy, signing out. See you down the road.